Ever get stuck trying to start a new song? Too many ideas, too many distractions, and you don't know where to begin? In this video, I'm going to show you my method for turning an existing song into a brand new original song. I'm going to break this video down into two sections. So the first section will be the planning section, and the second section will be the creation section, where we're going to go into the Logic Pro and then we start the creation. Each of these sections are also subdivided into 4 steps that you can easily follow along. So without further ado, let's get started. Why remake a song? Beginners often struggle because they don't know where to start. Too many musical ideas distract them, and also they lack direction for arrangement or groove. So remaking a song gives a starting chord progression and rhythm, inspiration for melody and lyrics, understanding of the song structure. So now we are in the planning process. Finding your inspiration song. When you try to find your inspiration song, try to note down the following key things. What is the music style or the genre of this song? What is the theme or the mood of this song? What is the song structure, arrangement of this song? After listening to a couple of songs, try to pick the one you like in regards to the music style, the theme, and the structure. This way, it's easy for you to stick to one song and not changing in between the middle of the project. Step 2. Getting ready to analyze. Once you pick the song, go ahead and download the track into your computer. You can simply go to the Google or YouTube, just grab the track from there and go into a website where you can turn the YouTube link into MP3. There are so many. I can list a couple of them down in the description as well. You're just going to paste the link and download the MP3 once it's converted. And once it's downloaded into your laptop or the computer, you're going to bring that into your DAW and you can do the stem splitting. In Logic Pro, it's very easy. You just right click and in the menu, you're going to see the stem splitter. You're just going to click it. It's going to take a couple of minutes to split the stems. And I usually go with each individual instrument separated. Step 3 is listening and analyzing. So after splitting the stems, you need to listen to the individual instruments and note down the following things. Drum groove in different section of the song arrangement, the different patterns, the difference in terms of the kick pattern or the snare. And you can also note down the bass pattern in different section and how it blends with the kick pattern. You can also recognize the melodic layers like hook synths, melodic string lines, rhythmic counterparts. And you can also analyze the chord progression and playing intensity in different sections. And lastly, the effects and ear candy. So once you analyze all these, you're going to have a good understanding of what this track doing in terms of the instrumentations. So the last step, step 4, will be creating your own framework. After listening to the individual stems, decide whether you like to have a similar chord progression and similar key maybe, and what instruments do you want to have in the track. Make sure not to copy the lyrics or the melody. Focus on the feel and the direction of the song. Okay, that's about the planning process. Now we are up to the creation process. Let's jump into my computer and open up a new project. I just did the song arrangement and the chord progression arrangement. So for this project, I thought to keep it simple. I'm just going to use a bit of drums and bass and some piano, maybe a little bit of strings if I feel like, some string synths and a guitar. I'm thinking to actually use acoustic guitar. Let's see. In this song, it's the electric guitar, but let's see. So the step 2 is to create the drum and bass. I'm going to listen to the drums. The drum beat is pretty simple in this song. I hear so many elements in the drum beats as well. So I chose my kick and the snare, the basic pattern, and then I also dropped some drum loop by Oliver. I wanted to have the sound palette for me. You can do the same thing. You can listen to the song, analyze in the preparation, in the planning part, and go ahead into splice or into the loop section in your DAW and then grab some stuff. I have kick and then I have snare, then I'm going to actually have this loop as well. And let's listen. That's the basic groove. For the intro, I don't want any beat. So for the verse, I'm just gonna keep this, and I'm just gonna press Command R to copy to apply to the whole verse. An easy way for you to cycle the section that you're in, you just select the place that you want to do the cycling like this. So I'll do here, and you press Command U, and then it cycles the section, which is why we need the song structure, because this is very easy rather than you trying to drag and adjust the cycle length. I'm happy with that. So you get the idea now. It's all about you getting inspired from the beat, not creating the exact beat. You can do that, but then it's gonna have so much similarity to the original. Make sure that you change small things, because then it adds the color while keeping the vibe and the feel the same. So that's gonna be my verse groove, and this is obviously going to be my chorus groove. So I'm just going to quickly copy this, and then I'm going to create a stack. Go for a folder stack, it's easier. So it's basically a track stack that lets you mute, solo, and control volume from the main track. It's going to create that group. We're going to call this drums. So the drums are done. So after creating the drums, create a bass. So we can do a couple of things. We can go for the bass player in the session player style, modern Motown, modern R&B, disco slap, indie disco. My idea is to choose from these two options. Let's try the indie disco first and see how he does, and then we can change if we don't like it later on. So it went ahead and created the whole groove for me. Let's have a listen. And another thing that we can do is, if you press Option T, you can get this menu, and I want you to check the groove track. This is the one that adds this star. We need this, so then we can ask our bass to follow the drums. So whatever the star is, the main groove we're going to be referencing, and then we can ask the session player to follow this. It's going to do some changes. Let's see if you can see. If I untick, you'll probably see adjust stuff, right? So make sure that you do that. Let's listen to the chorus. Okay, I like it. Let's customize it a little bit. We can change the bass sound from here. If you click this bass sound, you can get a lot of options. Upright clean, session dark and muted, 60s half muted. I wanted to try that and see. Okay, I like it. We can have the treble or no treble. See, these are like a couple of options you can do definitely. That's session dark and muted. I'm just gonna stick with that, and then we can also customize from here. This, if you press B in the keyboard, this panel comes up. You can control the tone, compression, the drive, and the sub in here as well. You can do EQ, you can do so much more. But I want to actually change the pattern. So how you do that is you just double click, and then the session player opens up. So in here, I'm gonna change the pattern a bit. You can see the chord rhythm in here, some notes, the melody, and the octaves. The phrasing is medium, so the octave, I'm gonna do some, and let's see how much that changes already. Let's do most notes. You can even humanize in here, so it adds a little bit of touch, human touch to it. And you can even create a manual pattern in here by clicking into these boxes. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to go into the chorus 2 after the second verse. I'm going to do a very similar pattern. So it's going to keep it very similar to the first chorus. I'm trying to keep that similarity in the chorus. Or I can after creating this, if I like this groove, then I can go ahead and copy this groove into these two as well. So I'm gonna keep this for the second verse as well, and let's listen to the pre-chorus. I'm gonna hear that transition as well. It's very easy this way. You are almost there. You can definitely create your own bass line, bass groove. That's what I usually do since we are a little bit of a time crunch. Today I'm just using the session player just to show you how simple it is. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it like that, and what I'm gonna do next is creating my mids. I'm gonna create a software instrument, electric piano. This is just a very basic electric piano. I'm gonna bring this to the top. So I've laid down all my chords here. I'm gonna drag and drop the chords and do some block chords and see how it goes. First of all, join everything. Command J. All right, and let's actually see. Ooh, so many notes. And I can see it's very down there. Command All, Shift, Option up. And then also velocity, I'm gonna bring it a little bit down there. That's nice. I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna bring another alchemy. I want to do some pads here. Ambient, simple. Let's go ahead and option drag this to here. Like this synth so much, so I'm gonna keep it here. Now it's having that nice thickness in my mids, but I am missing my hook for the intro. In Sabrina's song, she has used guitar. I don't want to get copyrighted. So we can definitely use some other instruments. I'm just gonna quickly browse an instrument and I'll be right back. So I picked up some loops to make this intro. I really liked how it's creating a little bit of a different vibe than to Sabrina's. I'm gonna add some effects in here, but for now I just kept it simple. After spending a couple of hours, I have this. So I stacked all the instruments by groups, as you can see in here. So I have my drums, bass, mids, and the guitars and the effects. I did keep the original groove which we created earlier, and then I added some hi-hat loops, some percussion claps, and different elements. I'll let you listen to the drums. Pretty basic on the chorus, first chorus, and then pre-chorus I kept it again pretty simple. And then I had a small pause over here which I filled with some effects. So this is the chorus groove. I kept it again very similar to my second two choruses. So key elements in Sabrina's song is the groove. It was very simple, and also the chord progression, it was very simple. Those two things stayed very similar throughout the whole song. So I also tried that, but I did add a couple of variations to my verses to my liking, and that's the drums. And then I did a small change to my bass as well. If I unmute this, you can see now I have my session player on the top, but then I have this bass sample. Let me play that for you. I'll just solo the bass. I really love this sample, so I used this for the chorus bits. You can see here, and also the post-chorus bit over here. So with the drums, so So I kept the session play bass the same. I just add this bass to the chorus, and this is where I did two things. I did few mid layers. Most of these, so these two are the same, it's just playing the pads. So I'm not doing the intro section with these two pads, it's basically for the song bit. And on top I have a hook synth. It's a bell, and this is also a sample, and I layered that with the guitars. I'll show you later. And with the mids I added these ambient pads over here and some violins over here. So with this ambient pad, it has a little bit of aging. You can hear that vinely, like aging tape sound. I liked that. And I have layered it over here as well. Here I used like a small part. I just cut it, and in here I'm using the whole loop. Let's have a listen to maybe the chorus. Yeah, that's my mids. And then I had guitar. I wanted to add lots of guitar, as you can see again here. In the beginning, I am supporting that hook synth over here with these guitar layers. Let me play one at a time. So this is actually like a muted guitar, and with this one, it's a guitar loop. So it's also again another guitar, but it's processed. The sound is processed. It's like a nice synth guitar. And then I have the guitar hook over here. Let me actually bring it up here. And I have something on my guitar hook. This is the original sample. But I'm using a beat break. In the last video I have used like a soft chop effect, and then it gives this chop then, and together it adds nicely all together with the mids, also with that hook synth. And then it goes into the song. I don't have these repeated on the chorus. It's basically the intro and the two pre-chorus. And then I have another muted pattern 2. Let's actually mute this. On top of that, another one. And then I have a mellow guitar underneath. Let's call that the mellow guitar. And then this is like another guitar muted 3. So I have altogether 3 muted guitars. I am using it again, these 3 in the choruses, as you can see here. And when I'm doing the last chorus, I'm trying to keep the stuff a little bit more simpler towards the end. So let's listen to all the guitars. And here we go. That's the first chorus. In the second chorus, from pre-chorus, I'm building up over here. violin loop. So that's the guitar part, and lastly we have the effects. Nothing crazy this time. I'm just using some vocal yells, and I'm using another breath. I have reversed the breath to give it a nice feel. Let's solo this part and I'll let you hear. And then over here again the same hey, and over here I am doing a hey. Okay, and this is a cymbal reversed, I think. I need to process this a bit more. Let's hear all together now. Here we go. So after you do the track, like I have done here, you have to then go ahead and do the final step, which is step 4, adding your own melody and lyrics. This is very personal. Feel free to explore new melodies. How I would approach this is by humming some tunes on top of the track, or even the chord progression. If you find it's distracting when you hear all the instruments, just play the piano chord progression and hum a tune. So a verse, a pre-chorus, a chorus, and try to keep the chorus same, because we need that chorus to be memorable. We don't want any big changes in between chorus repeats. So you can add a little bit of a variation, but try to keep it very much similar in all places. With the lyrics, you can get inspired by your own story or someone else's story or an emotion. I have discussed about creating the concept in my previous videos in episode 1 and episode 2 as well. So if you want a little bit more in-depth video about the concept creation, you can go ahead and watch that. I'll link them down in the description as well. After you create the concept, then it's very easy to come up with the lyrics. This is why we need that concept creation in the beginning. Once you have the basic melody and the lyrics, then you can go ahead and record. After that, only I try to create my harmonies. When I'm creating my harmonies, I just usually sing on top of the melody that I just created. I try a couple of things. I don't go with like theory for harmonies. I try to rely on my ears, and then I try to match the vibe also, because sometimes the theory is good, but when you apply it practically, it doesn't sound good. So I always try to do it in a bit more practical way when I'm adding my harmonies. So here's a small recap for today's session. So I would choose a song that I like, and then I would go ahead and analyze the chord progression, the groove, and the structure. And then I would rebuild that in Logic Pro or any DAW in your case. And then I would use my own instruments, my own key. Sometimes I even change the chord progression to my liking. And then lastly, you're going to add the melody and the lyrics. The key thing is always trying to get the structure, not the melody or the lyrics. Don't copy the instrument parts. Just get the framework and put your creativity into it. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you have any questions, if you have any requests, make sure to comment down below. And I'm also very curious to see what songs you are going to be creating on your own after this tutorial. So if I inspired you, make sure to comment and let me know if you made your own song with an existing song. It's a very simple method. So until next time, you have a good day. Bye.